Okay, good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start with our new unit that is working with user interface views and view groups. Okay, so up till now we have seen how to pass data from one activity to another activity. Then we have seen about the fragments, how the fragment works, how you can carry out the working of 10 activities into different fragments and how you can give a better performance with the use of fragments. Okay, and after that we have also seen about the services, and at last we covered the particular, you can say, what we covered in the last topic. As a last topic, can anyone say? Broadcast receivers, right? So that is also one important thing that you have to remember whenever you are making any Android application, right? So up till now we have seen lots of user interface designs, right? You have worked with the buttons, you have worked with the edit text, you have worked with the text view. Okay, so every time whenever we are writing some code in our main activity.java, okay, or whenever we are taking any widgets from the particular control panel, right, from the palettes on the activity, then you can observe that there is a text view, button view, that kind of thing is written, right? So let's today understand actually what are they, and actually how you can design the particular activity. So to make a user interface, you always have to touch with the views and view groups. Without that, you cannot put any widgets on the screen, right? So first of all, we start with the introduction that what is layout. So the first thing is layout. So layout is used to define the user interface for an application, or you can say activity, and it will hold the UI elements. So whatever elements we talk about, that text view, button view, suppose if you take a radio button, checkbox, okay, edit text, so all that are known as the UI elements, and that will appear to the user. So it's a part of user interface, right? So the user interface in an Android app is made with the collection of view and view group objects, right? So generally, the Android applications which contain one or more activities, and each activity is a one screen of the app. So whenever you see any application, so first screen will be appear whenever you open any application. Okay, so that is your one activity or the one screen of the particular application. That particular activities will contain multiple UI components, and those UI components are the instance of view and view groups, subclasses, right? So with the by what is the meaning of this line, that these are the view, and this view group are a class. Okay, right? And for that, we need to write Android dot view dot use. This is a one particular class you need to import. But with the help of Android Studio, you don't need to worry about that. You just right click on it and you just click on import class view, then automatically it will import this particular class for you. Similarly, you have Android dot view groups, view dot view groups. So these are the particular classes. These are the particular classes, right? Now let's start with the Android view. So a view is a base class for all the UI components. So suppose if you want to put the edit text or button, whatever UI component onto the screen, right? You have to deal with the view class because it is a base class. For example, the edit text class is used to accept the input from user in Android app, which is a subclass of view, which is a subclass of view. Okay. So I hope you understand the meaning of subclass, right? Now, a view occupies. What is actually the view? It is a two-dimensional area. Say it's a rectangle on the screen, which is responsible for framing and handling different types of events, right? So it is a 2D area, two-dimensional area. Probably it's a rectangle. It's a rectangle on the screen, and onto that you can put the particular controls or widgets, right? And it also connected with the events. Connected with the events. So that's why you can write view on click listener if you remember that, right? In a bracket we are passing this, and after that our class is going to be generated. Our method on click is generated within this particular method, right? Now these are the particular most commonly used Android view classes, right? So up till now we have majority touch with this text view, edit view, button view, and most probably with the image, okay, right? But these are the most commonly used particular Android view classes. So here you can use image button, right? Image view, you can checkbox, radio button, radio group, list view, spinner. This is very important thing. And again, this is very important thing. That is autocomplete text view, right? So apart from this, there are lots of, you can say, view classes we have, and according to your requirement you can use any of it. Right? So majority of we have discussed, and the rest important we are going to talk about, right? It is not possible to cover each and every view class in our lecture session, right? So what you can do, you can use that particular widgets in your lab session, okay, and you can practice it, right? Most probably whatever important things are there, that is my more focus on it, right? Now, so here I try to figure out, this is one particular image, right? So this is one view, this is one activity, you can say. So this is a text view, this is your edit text, these are your checkbox and radio buttons, right? This is image button view. This is a clickable, right? Then date picker. So suppose if you want to select any particular date, this is a regular button with the text, and this is an image with the image view if you want to display any image, right? So this kind of activities, this kind of particular user interface you can design in your Android application. Now here are some more controls, right? So this is a new toggle button, right? A rating bar, okay, then progress bar. These are also important, guys, right? In many applications you require this. That is a time picker, date picker, then the seek bar. Sometimes you have seen this kind of symbol, okay, that you just want to change the values of something, right? Brightness or something. Then alert dialog and a switch kind of UI, right? So these are the particular important user controls, user interface controls we have in our Android Studio, right? Now, let's discuss one by one the particular controls. Many of these are very well known to you, right? So we are not wasting our much time into these. So this is a text view, simple text view you can drag and drop. Okay. After that, you have edit text. So text view is one kind of label you can say. Okay, and edit text, in that you can take some inputs from the user, like suppose say for example, enter a number or enter a password, this kind of stuff, right? Next is the image view, right? If you want to display any particular image, then you can go for the image view. Then checkbox, right? So whenever you want to select more than two items, more than two options you want to provide, then you can put the checkbox. Then radio buttons, right? So radio button is also like a checkbox, but there is a slight difference that it has only two state, right? Two states button that can be either checked or unchecked, right? So I hope you can understand the particular, you can say the radio button. Now a button view. So that is a button, simple button, each and every application we are using. And again the image button view, right? So here instead of text you can put any image and you can make it clickable. Okay. Then next, those, so that are the particular views. That are the particular views. So you can understand the importance of views, right? So without that, there is no user interface. Now, a next thing we are going to talk about is Android View Groups, right? So this is again one important thing. So the view group is a subclass of view and it will act as a base class for layouts. So as you have observe that whenever you are creating our Android application, so at the left hand side panel we have a layout folder, right? And within that layout folders we have some files .xml or whatever. Okay, so view group will provide an invisible container to hold other views or view groups and to define the layout properties. So actually it is a container. These particular XML files are a container. You can say it is a layout files, right? And into that you can put up the views. Into that you can put up the views. So a view group is a container to hold the views, and all the Android activities, fragment layouts, etc. are the view groups. You can consider these activities, frame, fragments. These are the particular comes under the view groups, and it is the extended from views. So view group classes are extended from the view classes. Okay, and they are used as a container on Android application screen. Now, what are the different types of view groups we have, right? So without view group, you cannot put any particular, you can say, view onto the activity or a screen, right? So by default, right now, the very popular and advanced view group is a container constraint layout, right? So this is a new version. Okay, so whenever in a new version of Android Studio, if you open up, if you create any new project, right, then your XML file contains the constraint view, constraint layout. Okay, like this. These are the files, and here is the closing part of it, constraint layout. And into that, you have a text view. You have a text view, right? Like this, you have XML file, layout file you have. So within this particular container, or you can say the view group, we are taking the elements. We are taking the particular elements, right? Now, according to your requirement, you can take any, you can choose any of these particular layouts. Suppose a linear layout, relative layout, frame layout, table layout, grid view we have, list view we have, Right now, the list view is particular, you can say, deprecated, and instead of that, there is a recycler view, right? So right now, people are Android developer are using a recycler view instead of a list view. But still, you can use a list view, but it is a deprecated. Now, linear layout, relative layout, frame layout, and all these particular are considered as a container that contains the particular views, right? These are the view groups. Now, let's understand how you can deal with this particular and what are the purpose of these different view groups. That linear layout is a view group that is responsible for holding the views. Obviously, all these particular layouts responsibility is for holding the views in it, right? It is a layout that arranges its children, right? So what are the children's? That is the various views and layouts linearly in a single column. Either it is a horizontally or vertically. Either it is a horizontally or vertically, it can put onto the particular screen. Now, whether all the childrens will be arranged horizontally or vertically depends upon the value of attribute. So in a linear layout, you have to define the orientation. In a linear layout, you have to define the orientation, whether you want to whether you want to draw your user interface, either it is horizontally or vertically. So that you have to define, and it is defined with the use of this particular attribute, that is orientation attribute. And by default, the orientation is horizontal. By default, the orientation is horizontal. Now, you can have two orientations. One is a vertical, another one is the horizontal, right? So let's understand what is the meaning of layout of horizontal and vertical. So you can see these are the particular views are contained in a horizontal view, right? So from here, from here, from here. And these are the particular views are vertical views. Okay, right? So here you can see that sides, I have put one image that these are the button 1, 2, and 3. So these are designed in a horizontal view. Button 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are designed in a vertical view. So you have to decide as a developer that whether you want to put your controls in a horizontal or vertical way, right? So that is a linear layout. With the linear layout, there are lots of properties you can set, okay? But it is all in this context only. Either it is horizontal or it is a vertical. Next is a relative layout. So relative layout is a layout which arranges views, widgets, or view groups according to the position of other views, widgets, and view groups, right? So that is the new views are placed relative to the already existing view. Already existing view. Suppose if I have designed one this button, okay, and next if I am drag and drop one another button, that button will be placed relative to this particular button only, right? So this layout is for specifying the position of elements in relation to the other elements that are present, right? Relative layout is most commonly used layout in GUI design. So most commonly used layouts are relative layouts and linear layouts. So these two layouts are most popular, but nowadays a new layout that is known as the constraint layout, it is also very popular, okay, among the developers. So you can choose any of these. You can be comfortable with any of the view. It doesn't matter that you have to choose only relative or you have to choose only constraint. The matter is you have to create a good user interface, right? Now the position of each view can be specified relatively to its sibling elements, such as to the left or below another view, right? Suppose if I'm taking another button, if I'm taking one another button and I want to put that button on the right hand side of this button, right? So I just need to define the position. I want to put that in the right hand side. I want to put that in a below this particular button. So you have to remember how you can do that. In that case, you have to remember the particular ID of any widgets or views, right? And according to that, you can position the particular elements. So here are the layouts. Okay, so you can design this kind of stuff. Next is a table layout, right? This is a particular application specific layout, right? So if you require, if you need that, then you can go for it. So table layout is a view group subclass that is used to display a child view elements in a rows and columns. I hope you can understand the meaning of table. Table contains rows and columns, right? So here, what you can do, suppose I want to create a login page, right? So here I have a username, so I can put a column, and here edit text. Below, I'm going to create one another row that is a password, and I'm just creating that another. Taking one another row, and I'm just putting a login button over here, right? So I hope you can understand. So if I want to go for this kind of thing, right? So it is well defined, align the things as we were using tables in HTML to make the things align and arrange. So in the same fashion, you can also go for the table layout, right? Here you can set the margin, padding, etc. Things are there already with all the views. So you can set it, right? So it's similar to the tables or the Excel sheets. A table layout container consists of child views in the form of table rows, right? So it contains a table rows, right? A table row default layout width is the match parent and layout height is a wrap content, right? So for each and every view, you have two important attributes you have to deal with, right? The first is layout width and layout height. So here, whenever you create any new view into the XML file, then also you can find these two default layout will be there. Layout value will be there. So layout width that is equal to match parent and layout height is a wrap content, right? So you can see the difference between this match parent and layout height whenever you design any particular view. Okay, right? So you can understand that. We can define child view inside the table row element. Okay, so suppose say for example, if I want to use this a text view, so first of all, I need to take a table row, and within that, I can take a text view. Okay, so like this, you can define a child views inside the table row element, and each of the child view is similar to the cell in an Excel sheet. So I have already defined it, right? So you can see, you can imagine this as an Excel sheet. Okay, you can define the number of rows, you can define the number of columns, and you can put your views or controls within it, right? So I hope this is clear to you. So here, particular table layout. This is your row number 1. This is your row 2 and column 1. And this is your row 2 and column 2. Similarly, in third row, we have a 3 columns. Third row, we have a 3 columns. And this is your row number 4. This is your row number 4. So this is about the particular table layout. Okay. The next is a frame layout. Frame layout we have already used in our, you can say which section, that is a fragment. Right. So in a fragment, we have used the frame layout. So you can understand what is the use of frame. Frame layout is a view group subclass that is used to specify the position of view instances. It contains on the top of each other Remember this line, I have already told you that whenever we covered a fragment, right? So it's like a stack. It works like a stack, right? So it contains on the top of each other to display only a single view inside a frame layout. So as I told you that in that case, we had two fragments, fragment one and fragment two, right? So if I want to display fragment 1 and 2 dynamically at the runtime, then I need to take that within a frame view, frame layout. Then at a time, I can display only one item, that is fragment 1. And after that, if I switch over that to the fragment 2. So fragment 1 will be hidden, and on the top of it, fragment 2 will be shown up, right? So if you want to achieve that kind of facility, that kind of functionality in your application, then you should go for the frame layout, right? And we can say the frame layout is designed to block out an area on the screen to display a single item at a time. Display a single item at a time, right? So here you can observe, guys, right? So each and every layout has its own particular value, has its own particular usage, right? So it is not like a only one and two layout will work for the whole Android design, Android application design. You need to deal with each and every layout whenever you are creating any big or any complex Android application, right? After that, there is a list view. So this is a very simple. List view is a view group that is used to display a list of scrollable of items in a multiple rows, right? And a list items are automatically inserted to the list using adapters. So here a new thing we have heard, that is adapter. So whenever you go for the list view, some kind of views, view groups, then you have to deal with the adapter, right? So adapter is a bridge, right, between your control and the data source. So generally the adapter pulls the data from sources such as what are the data sources we have? So either you have stored your data in an array, okay, you have created one array, or if you have a database, you have a database, and from that stored values, if I want to fill up this list view, then I need adapter classes. Then I need adapter classes, right? So you can understand that adapter is a bridge between the data sources and the particular list view, and converts each item into result view and that placed into the list, and then your list is a displayed, right? And it is a scrollable. If the number of items are more, then it is a scrollable. And the next is a grid view, right? So whenever you want to create a image gallery kind of application, right? So at that time you require this grid view layout, right? So grid view is a view group that is used to display item in a 2D. That is a two dimension, and it is a scrollable grid. Grid items are automatically inserted to the grid view layout using a list adapter. So again, you have a number of images and you have to store that images somewhere. So again, you require a source, which data source, which can store your images. Now, if I want to load that images into this grid view, then I require the adapter. So you can go for any kind of adapter, you can go for the list adapter, you can go for any kind of, you can create the array and all that stuff. And then you can fill up this particular grid with the images, right? So this is about the grid view, right? So this is also important grid layout we have. Okay, so these are the particular, you can say, views and view groups we have. Views and view groups we have. I hope you can understand that, right? And let me cover. It's a very small topic, that is autocomplete text view. So, what is the meaning of autocomplete text view? So, by looking at the picture, I hope you can understand that you have choose the country name. That is a one scenario in front of you. You have to choose the country name. Then you have a number of countries. You have a number of countries stored somewhere. Either it is in an array or it is in a database. Either you have created an array or you have created a database. From that, here, what is the requirement? Whenever I write only I, then it should list out all the I related items. India, Indonesia, like this, right? So you can see over here, there is only I is written, and it will list out all the items related with the I. So this is again wonderful thing. This is again wonderful thing, and it is a very much required thing. Okay. So for that you don't need to require, you don't need to write any particular logic. You can achieve this kind of beautiful functionality with the use of autocomplete text view. Right. So autocomplete text view is an editable text view, and which is used to show the list of suggestions based on users typing text. Right. And this list of suggestions will be shown as a drop down menu. You can see over here. It's like a drop down. Suppose here there is a drop down we have. If you click on this, and number of items are going to be listed. But here are specific items which I want. Suppose if I write over here A, then it will list out all the items related with the A. Okay, so from which the user can choose an item to replace the content of the text box, right? And the autocomplete text view is a subclass of edit text. So we can inherit all the properties which we are using in edit text with the use of autocomplete text view based on our requirement, right? So this is again wonderful view we have, guys, right? So you can go for any of these particular view or view groups, and you can design a standard professional Android applications, right? Apart from that, there is a screen orientation we have. So screen orientation is a very well-known thing right now. Suppose if you rotate your phone in a landscape mode, then all the things are automatically laid out in the particular landscape. Suppose if you rotate your phone in a portrait mode, then all the particular things will be rotated layout in the particular, you can say, portrait mode. Okay, right? So that can be anything. That can be anything, right? And it is defined with the screen orientation, you can say, attribute. Okay, so I hope this up to this it's clear to all of you guys, right? And these are the very basic things you need to understand whenever you are going to design any Android application. Okay, right? So is there any doubt up to this, guys?